again. I feel Blake, I spin a bin. I got one, I got two, I got three, I got a few. Cause I'm and you know I do this, I don't miss, I don't miss, I don't miss, I don't miss.
What's going on YouTube? In today's video I'll be working on the Tahoe right here. So I'll be showing you guys how I was able to mount these aftermarket LED pods as my fog lights, and also retaining my factory fog light switch. And as you guys can see, the lights are kind of tucked away, so the SS bumper still retains its look. And if I come down here, you can kind of see them right there. And here's a close-up at the pods right here that I'm using. So these are by Auxbeam. So I have 2 on the left side and then also 2 on my driver's side. So these are aftermarket pods and they're made for off-road. So I had to kind of aim them down because they're super bright. And you know, you don't want to be blinding anybody right there. So if any of you guys are doing something like this, just be careful right there because they are super bright. So if you want to go ahead and check out how I installed the fog lights to the SS bumper on the Tahoe, stay tuned and let's get to it. Alright guys, so these are the LED pods that I'm going to be using as my fog lights from Auxbeam. And also this video is sponsored by Auxbeam, so thanks to them for sending them out. And we're going to go ahead and try them out on the Tahoe right here. So there's 2 LEDs in here and then also 2 in this box. But I'll also have the link down below in the description if you wanted to get 15% off Auxbeam setups. So I'll go ahead and open them up right here to show you how they look like. So they got some stickers right here, Auxbeam. And so here's the pods right there. So I'm not sure if you guys can notice, but these are switchbacks. So the top lights are white and then right in the middle are amber. So I'll just start taking them out so we can get a better look at them right here. Alright, so this is everything in the box right here. So 2 LED pods with the switchbacks, you know, a left and a right. But I do have 4, so this is going to be just a left side and then I'm going to have 2 more on my right side. So this is the hardware they come with just to mount them right here, but I will have to modify on the bumper right here because there's no mounting space on the SS bumper. So I'll be working with that. And then the relay harness, as you can see right here, is already pre-wired with the 2 plug-and-play connectors for each of the fog lights. So the way that these are wired up, they already come with a relay and power connection, so a 12 volt and then a ground to the battery. And everything gets controlled through this controller right here. But I don't really like it that much, so I'll be trying to cut it off and then integrating it into the factory fog light switch on my Tahoe. So you can see right here, it has the on and off and then the modes because it's a switchback. But I'll be trying to make it work the same way, except that, you know, without this right here, and it'll look a little bit more factory, and we'll see how that works right there. So let me go ahead and hook them up and show you how they work right now before I hook them up on the Tahoe. Alright, so I just hooked them up to the Milwaukee 12 volt battery, and let me go ahead and show you right here. So you can turn them on and they'll be white right there, and then this will change the modes. So amber, both white and amber, white strobe, amber strobe, white and amber strobe, and then back to white. So that's the modes on the Auxbeam right here, and I'll also have a link down below in the description if you guys want to get 15% any of the Auxbeam lights. And even though it's daytime, the lights are very bright, so that's why I have the camera at an angle, because whenever I put it like more straightforward, it starts like blinding it right there. I'm not sure if it'll pick it up a little bit on the camera. So let me go ahead and start checking the Tahoe out and see how I'm gonna mount these right here. Alright, so this is what I'm thinking of using to mount my fog lights. So it's some 1/4 inch aluminum plate. So I'm thinking of, you know, mounting it something like this, and that way I have a, you know, secure spot to mount the 2 LED pods right here. And once I have this mounted, then I'll try to drill out the holes for the aux beams right here. So I'll go ahead and try to mount this first and then see how it looks and if it's sturdy enough for the lights, but hopefully it will. So I'm gonna go ahead and start mounting it from right here. So I kind of started mocking it up, and if I flip this over, you can kind of see where I traced out the bar that's gonna be mounted to the truck. So on this side, just in this area. So I'm just trying to grab this lip right here. I'm gonna see if I can show you guys real quick. So I'll put it from the back just like this, and then squared it up, and pretty much just like right there. So I'm thinking of drilling the holes in that area, and that way it'll be like, you know, squared on both sides. And then after, if it's all good, then I'll probably paint it black and stuff. But I did want to get aluminum because it's a little bit lighter, and also it won't rust. So I just wanted to do something a little bit simple, and I think this will work. So I'm gonna go ahead and try it out. Alright, so I got the aluminum plate already mounted, and you can kind of see right here I have the bolts on the right side. So I went ahead and put in 3 of the 13 millimeters. So these are factory bolts that I had extra from a, you know, GM truck. So pretty good there. And I was thinking of painting it black, but I think it looks pretty good. So I'll go ahead and show you from the front right here. So this is what it looks like right now from the front, and I think it looks pretty cool because it's silver, just like the headlights. But you guys let me know what you think down below in the comments. And here's a little bit closer right there, and you can kind of see on the inside the nuts are right there. So that's what's holding it, and it's actually pretty sturdy. And now I just got to go ahead and mount the pods right here and figure out, you know, where the mounting points are going to be so that it can be a little bit centered out right there. So not too bad. I was thinking of leaving it black, but I kind of like that chrome look right there, or the aluminum color. I actually don't mind having it like that if it had no fog lights, you know, with that silver in the back. I think it makes it look pretty cool right there. But like I said, you guys let me know what you think on that right there. And I'll go ahead and start, you know, mounting up my fog light right now. So I got the mounting holes all drilled up, and I was just using, you know, a squared edge right here so that I can kind of keep it the same. So from right here is 1.5 inches, but I could have gone a little bit higher, maybe like 1 3/4, but this was still okay. And then, you know, I went ahead and did one of the pots just like this, and then the other one on this other side, just like that. And from right here is about 3/4, and then I just left a little gap right here, that way they're not going to be touching and messing around right there. But that's what they look like. So 3/4 right here was pretty good, and I could have gone maybe a little bit more, not too much, because then it would have been like off center. But overall I kind of like it. Maybe if anything I would have gone a little bit higher, but you know, not that bad right there. And I just want them to match, so I already got the other side done, and that way they're going to be both, you know, the same. And the ones on the corner here, I drilled them out in the truck first, and then I went ahead and, you know, did a Sharpie right here so that I can match them up the same, because it would have been harder if I did them on here first and then on the truck. So that's what I did there, and you know, it wasn't that bad at all. Alright, so there's both the pods mounted, and I went ahead and zip tied the wiring right there so it could be a little bit cleaner. And then you can just see the, you know, nuts back here. So not too bad, and I'll just go ahead and mount it up right now. Alright guys, so as you can see, I went ahead and finished mounting them, but you can't really notice it because they're kind of tucked away. So I like that, and I'll go ahead and show you right here how they look together. So there they are right there. The driver's side, and then the passenger side right here. So let me know what you guys think right here, and I'll try to get a better close-up right now. So this is the passenger side right here, and I kind of have them, you know, angled down a little bit because I don't want them too high since they are kind of bright. So whenever I turn them on at night, I'll be able to adjust them better, but this is just how I have them for now. So I'll go ahead and start with the wiring now, and I do have 2 harnesses because I do have 4 pods. So I'll just go ahead and start running with the plug and play connectors right here on the pods. So 2 for my left and then 2 for the right there. And I'll probably just zip tie them together because they're going to the same place right there. And then after that, I can do the relay wiring on the battery and then also the signals right there. So now that I removed the fender lining, I also did go ahead and remove some of this old loom that was in here, and now the wires are bare. So I'll go ahead and put on some Tessa tape because it was already cracking, and you know, I think this should be good for now, and later on I can find the correct tube sizing and put that loom on there again. But I'm just gonna cover it up with the Tessa tape meanwhile I'm doing the installation of the relay. So I'm thinking of maybe like zip tying them up here, or maybe possibly screwing them. So I'll just go ahead and wrap this real quick right here. Alright guys, so I went ahead and connected the power, and I went ahead and got my 12 volts out of right here, and then my ground is going straight to the battery. So you can kind of see it right here, they're just zip tied. And I went ahead and left the fuses out here, that way, you know, I can check them out if they get blown or anything like that. So the wire is going up here, and I am grabbing this stud right here. So from the factory, there's a fuse that's supposed to go here, and usually they don't come in it. So my Tahoe doesn't have it, so this has no 12 volts right now. So I went ahead and grabbed one off the Yukon, which is right here, and it's a 40 amp. And you can kind of see right here where it tells you on the, you know, cover stud 1 and then 40 amp, and then stud 2 is a 30 amp, which is right here. So the 30 is for that stud, and then I'm gonna put the fuse right here from the Yukon to make this one work right there. So I'm not sure why they don't have it, but I'll just go ahead and put this one right here. So there it is, I got my 40 now, and now this stud has power, and my fog lights, you know, have the 12 volts. And all I gotta do is wire up the signal, so my headlight wire, and then into the factory fog light switch. So I'll do that next right now, and I'll just go ahead and put this cover back on. Alright, so here's a better look at the fender without the lining on here, and you can kind of see, you know, the back of the plate right here with the 2 bolts and then the 3 mounting bolts. And then I have my relays right over here, so I use a tapping screw right here and also some zip ties to keep it all in place, just like from the factory. And then this one right here, you can kind of see I already went ahead and finished up Tessa taping it as well and zip tied it. Right down here I have my fog light harness right here from the factory, so I'll be using this as signal to control the switchbacks. And then over here I have the 2 switches that are, you know, for the LED pods on each side. But I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, cut them so that I can condense them into one and they can be controlled together. But at this point everything is already functional, so I can go ahead and, you know, turn them on. That one is on, and then that one is on. So these are on, and you can kind of see them right there on the truck. That's one, that's the left side, and then there's the right side. And then the modes, you can kind of see them right there. So all the modes are working right there. I'll go ahead and try amber right now. So that's amber, and then this one, that should be amber. So let me see what they look like from the front. All right, so this is the front right here. So there you go. As you can see, they're very bright, and that's still in the daytime, so it's still not nighttime, but you know, it's getting there. Let me know what you guys think so far. So let me go ahead and start messing with these and adjust them so that they can be, you know, more original looking, and I can get rid of those switches. But if you guys are using those switches, then you're pretty much just set. All you got to do is run them inside the truck right there. All right, so that I can get rid of these connectors right here, what I'm gonna do is grab signal off my fog light wire. So right here, you can kind of see that it's got this black wire for ground, and then the signal, which is positive, is this purple wire. So I'm gonna tap into this purple. So I have a connector that actually fits in there, and I went ahead and de-pinned the ground, and I only left the positive side, which is red. So that way I don't have to splice into it. But if I didn't have this, you know, of course I would just solder into there. So with this right here, I'll be able to change the modes on the fog lights themselves. So as you guys can see right here on the very far right, it says mode. So it'll change to like strobing or amber or anything like that. So that's what this will do right there instead of having to switch. And for the on and off button, I'm gonna be grabbing signal off the headlight. That way, whenever the headlights come on, my fog lights will automatically come on as well. So I don't have to be pressing them on each time. All I be doing is changing the modes right here with the factory fog light switch. So let me go ahead and start getting rid of these switches right here. I'm gonna unplug them because they already have power. And then I'm gonna cut the wires off right there. And then I can start, you know, joining them into here and running up to the headlight wire. All right, so I went ahead and stripped them down, and you can kind of see all the wiring right here. And the old connectors are there, but I was looking at it, and I'm just gonna go ahead and do it a different way because as you guys can tell right here, these are not waterproof. So these were designed to be inside the truck. So if you guys notice, these are all like open because they were designed to be in the truck. So I'm just gonna go ahead and not use them, and I grabbed me these, you know, outdoor connectors right here. So these should be watertight right there, and they should be good. So I only need 2 pins, and this one is a 3-pin. So I'm just gonna cut off one of the wires, and I won't be using this anymore. I can use this wire to, you know, go to the headlight and all that, but I think I'm gonna just go ahead and use a different wire. And what I'll do here is I'm gonna cut them around this area. So I'm just gonna cut it around here, but I do wanna be careful because the red wire in here has 12 volts right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and either disconnect the battery, or I'm just gonna cut them one by one and tape them up individually because I'll be using the yellow and the white wire. So red is going to be 12 volts right now, and then ground is black. So you don't want to cut them together and then, you know, short something out. So let me go ahead and cut them out separately, and that way I don't get to, you know, pop a fuse or anything like that. So the plugs are all cut off now, and I just went ahead and twisted them to kind of keep them in place. And this is the one I'm going to use, the white wire, and then the 2 yellow wires. So the 2 whites and 2 yellows. And then I'll be taping up this black and then red. So both of them are just twisted, and you know they do have power, so ground and then 12 volts. So first I'm gonna just go ahead and cover up the ground and 12 volts because, you know, I don't want them to be touching right there because they do have power. So once I can close these up out the way, then I'll just be left over with these 2 so that I can, you know, solder them into my 2-pin connector right here. All right, so there they are all soldered up, and you can kind of see right there. So yellow to yellow, and then my white wire is going to a blue wire because that's the colors that are on my 2-pin connector here. So now I can just go ahead and shrink them all together and close this all up, and then I can continue on these other 2 connectors right here. So this will have a plug and play connector, and then I'm gonna have another plug and play connector to the fog light switch right there. So let me close these up, and then I can do these. All right guys, so I just finished up soldering the bottom connector, and as you can see, you know, this is the truck side, and then this is the connector that goes in here. And I just soldered this extension right here, which is longer. It's gonna go to the headlight, and that was on the yellow wire. So I just went ahead and extended the yellow wire to this black wire, which is gonna go to the headlight input. So whenever the headlight comes on, it'll automatically turn the fog lights on. And this one is going for the fog light switch. So originally it was a white wire, but on my 2-pin, it's a blue. So that's gonna go right up in here into the plug and play connector from the factory fog light switch. So that's what it looks like all connected. You know, both relays are triggered by 1 wire. So into this 1 plug and play connector coming from the fog lights. So I can select the modes, amber, white, or strobe. And then this one, I'm just gonna run up to the headlight wire. and it should be good after that. So I just gotta, you know, close it all up or zip tie it down so it can look a little bit better. But you guys let me know what you think on this down below in the comments. Alright, so my headlight is off and I went ahead and tapped into this orange wire. So that's the 12-volt signal whenever the headlights come on, and you can see my black wires right there. So the yellow wire was ground and the orange is the 12-volt signal, so that's why I went ahead and tapped in right here. And now I can just close it up and test it all out right there. Now that I have everything connected and back together, I'll go ahead and test it out. So I'm gonna turn my headlights on right here. All right, and then they should be on right now. So everything looks good now. The fog lights came on with the headlights just the way that I wired them up. And here's a better look right here. So right now they're just on white, and I'll go ahead and test out my factory fog light switch so that I can change the settings on the switchbacks. So to change the switchback modes, I'll be pressing on my factory fog light switch twice. Once to change it and then another one to retain it, because it is a momentary switch. So once the light will come on and then again, and that'll retain that setting right there. So for example, right now they changed it to amber, and I'll go ahead and check in the front. So that's amber on them right there. And you can kind of see that the amber is right in the middle because the amber LEDs are only in the center and the white LEDs are on the top and bottom. But I'll go ahead and change another setting right there for you guys. So once, twice, that's another setting. And then once and twice, and that's another setting right there. So that looked like it's strobing. Let me go ahead and show you in the front. So right now it's doing white strobe, and I'll go ahead and do the amber strobe as well. That's what it looks like right there from the front, and I think it looks pretty cool, but it should be way better at nighttime because right now, you know, it's still daytime, but not too bad. I wasn't really thinking of switchbacks, but I think it should work, you know, because different light settings, like in case rain or anything like that. So whenever the LED is on solid here, it's giving out a constant 12 volts, which makes the switchbacks go default back into white, which is, you know, pretty good. And after that, you can leave it on, or you can just, you know, turn it off and they'll stay in white again. So let me know what you guys think on the fog lights right here in the Tahoe. I think they came out pretty good. I haven't seen much, you know, fog light videos on the SS bumpers right here. So, you know, I thought I'd make mine right there. And like I said, I like the way that they kind of flush to the back because I don't want them, you know, too much forward. So overall, it looks pretty good. And, you know, from the top, you can't really tell it's got fog lights. But at night, you know, you'll be able to see them right there. And now I just gotta wait for nighttime so that I can get some better shots, because right now, you know, it's still too bright. And check this out right here, guys. Whenever I do the headlights on and then my high beams, so the high beams are on, we'll go see in the front. So with the high beams on, my low beams lose power right there, so their ground gets lost, but the 12 volt is still on. That's why my fog lights stayed on right there. And what I'll be doing later on is doing a 4 high mod or a 6 high mod. That way everything will be on together, so the low beams will be on, the high beams, and as well as the fog lights. But I'll be doing that on another video right there for you guys. So it's nighttime now, and the pots for my fog lights are very bright, so I have to kind of turn them down a little bit. But you can kind of see right here whenever I do the selector, you know, you can see the amber or the strobe, you know, just different patterns right there. Amber strobe, and then, you know, white. But I'll go ahead and show you right now from the outside. And they came on with the headlights, so now every time the headlights are on, the fog lights will automatically be on. And that's also why I kind of aimed them down, because I don't want to be blinding anybody, because they are very bright. Alright guys, so here's a better look from the outside. And like I said, they're very bright, and you guys let me know what you think on the lights right here. So bright white right here. So not too bad. I just went ahead, like I said, aimed them down a little bit. That way they would be better on the road, because, you know, they are super bright and they're actually pods. I just used them as fog lights right there, and I do have 4 of them, so that's a lot. And I do like the way that the bottom ones do match up to the Auxito ones on the top, even though these are Auxbeam right here. But the light pattern is very good and it's very bright. So let me go ahead and try the amber right now. So there's the amber, and I actually kind of like this, you know. They look kind of cool in amber, so not too bad right there. And I'm thinking that the amber color will be pretty good whenever it rains, because, you know, the floor starts shining up too much, so that might make a difference. I'll go ahead and try out the strobe from out here also. So there's a strobe. I don't really think I'm gonna be using strobes too much, but, you know, it came with it, so not too bad at all right there. And then from out here, you can see it a little bit on the wall. You can kind of see the beam pattern right here on the floor better. So pretty far. And you guys let me know what you think on the aux beams right here. I think they're pretty good, so very bright. And also don't forget, if you'd like to get 15% off, I'll have my discount code Migo713 down below in the description with the link. So now that I have all these lights right here, I also do want to do the 4 high mod. And then I'm also thinking of adding some lights down here. So this empty spot right here, I'm thinking of adding some LEDs, and that should be good for right there. And if this video helped you out or you like this content, don't forget to hit that like button down below, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And if I missed anything on the video, also let me know down below in the comments. And that'll be it for this video, guys. So I'll see you guys in the next one. We're gone.